In truth, I cannot tell how much time has passed since I sent that letter.
Well, being dead does mess with your sense of time. Just ask Clarinel, or Bertrand, or Sordeval. Hello, everyone. Science Viking here, and it's time for another episode of Darkest Dungeon. Let's see if we have any trinkets I actually want to get rid of. Protection stones are good. I don't want to sell the heads ever, apparently. Let's see. The tough ring could actually be very good on a man-at-arms. So could the Raider's Talisman. In fact, I have a particular plan for the Raider's Talisman. I'll hold off on spending money for now. I can probably upgrade a structure or two, though. Let's see. What to upgrade? Let's see, if I could improve medical devices, I could reduce disease treatment cost, but I think I'll hold off on spending anything else for now. So in that case, let's go on a mission. Let's see what our options are. I could reclaim Relics of the Light, which would get me All Saints' Day, which is at least somewhat useful, and also a Sun Ring, which is a pretty good trinket, increasing damage and accuracy if the torch is above 75%. Alternatively, let's see. I could go for intermediate missions in either the Weald or the Cove. Let's see, in the Cove I would get a Hero's Ring, which is alright. Or I would get Medic's Greaves for the Arablast. On the other hand, we do need to advance toward unlocking the advanced bosses in areas other than the ruins. So, and we're 80% of the way to the boss in the Weald. I think I'll do that. So who to bring? Let's see, Fontamai and Koliar are good. So let's bring, he has weird reconstruction, let's bring Patri as our main healer, and that just leaves a front runner. Normally I would send Vastil, but she's both being treated for a disease and resolve level 5, so who else could be it? Basanj also can't. But Bowen can. Alright, and pretty much everyone's equipped too. So, let's proceed. Might be able to unlock the champion version of the Hag. Though, yeah, I'll go with this team for now. I was briefly contemplating swapping one of them out for an antiquarian to try and get us more gold. Okay, bring plenty of shovels. Bring plenty of torches. Though this is a short mission. A few more bandages. Decent amount of food. Always bring a couple of keys. We already have medicinal herbs and holy water. And for a short mission, I'd say we're equipped. Is it just me, or is that loading time longer than usual?
Corruption has soaked the soil, sapping all good life from these groves.
Okay.
Let us burn out this evil.
Since we have an obstacle here that would require a shovel, and there's definitely not a room battle in this room, I'm going to take a bit of a gamble that there's also not a room battle in this room and head this way instead. This might come back to bite me, but we brought plenty of food. Aw, and the Fusilier's in stealth. Let's change that. And... oh, that missed. I was hoping to bring him within range to be hit by, Chop, but I can still hit him with Slice Off. Though he'll live for this turn. And Bowen is having his usual leper problems. Ow. Yeah, Blanket Fire is a bit of a problem without a Vessel. Though we have quite a few healing abilities on this team. And Harvest, and that is the end of Fusilier.
A faint hope blossoms.
And I may as well use Weaken. Actually, I should have used Vulnerability Hex to reduce his dodge. Especially since he resisted the debuff. Ow. That did some damage. Oh, Battlefield Bandage. We don't have any big healing abilities, but we have lots of little healing abilities. Well, I mean, Weird Reconstruction is a big healing ability about half the time. And Dirk Stab. You see? Today, Weird Reconstruction decided to be a big healing ability.
A death by inches.
And yep, you do have Solemnity equipped. And Dirk Stab.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Alright, get everybody back into position. And actually, we're going to rearrange things a little bit because this Jester really needs Inspiring Tune right now. I'm also actually going to move him back one so that he can use Inspiring Tune on himself to reduce his own stress. Ooh! Loot beyond measure. I guess the game heard me when I was talking about needing gold. Ah, damn it. Well, we found 8 food despite not using the medicinal herb. That could have gone very bad.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted.
Right, no scouting.
Purpose is made clear.
So we're heading into uncharted territory. And uncharted territory apparently has crests. Crests and ghouls. Alright. Let's see if we can reduce that thing's damage a bit. Okay, that's worrying. Alright, let's go with some inspiring music. And Sniper's Mark on the ghoul. And now that its dodge has been reduced to 0, Chop. And I'm going to use Harvest as my way of dealing with the Crone, at least for now. Embrace the dark. And Vulnerability Hex again to reduce its damage, but it resisted it. Wait, that was the wrong that was the wrong ability.
Gnawing uncertainty. The birthplace of dread.
I meant to use Weakening Curse, not Vulnerability Hex, to try and reduce its attack power. Either way it's marked, I may as well hit it with Sniper Shot. And Chop.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
And Slice Off. And that's the end of the Crone. Suppose we may as well do some healing.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
And even more high-value loot. And we even have room to carry it all. This has been a very gold-heavy mission. I am not complaining about that.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
Book of Constitution, Blight and Disease Resistance, and Citrine and Gold. I'll leave the book. Oh, these guys. These guys are going to be a bit of a thing. Actually, I'm just going to start with sniper shot them with fungal batteries. Slice off on the other one. I really should have concentrated my fire on one of them, but that's what I would do if I were smart, but if you've been watching this video up to this point, you know that I'm not. Alright, and vulnerability hex missed anyway. Ah, it's raining blight. Hallelujah. And now another person is diseased. Just decided to give us all of the diseases today. And I may as well use chop on one of those grabbers to start wearing it down. And someone's about to be hit by Rend the Mind. He's... Oh. Ow. Right. Harvest. Okay, that takes care of one battery. Well, no, it almost takes care of one battery. I really wish that I had suppressing fire right now, but I don't. And the occultist is marked for even more. He could very well end up at death's door. Alright, give Fontamai her precious anti-venom. Okay, that's good. Exactly where I called it. Okay, we have to deal with Rain of Blight one last time. Fortunately, Koliar has been doing a pretty good job of knowing when to duck. Patri, on the other hand, has not been doing such a great job.
Of emptiness reveal themselves.
Okay, he survived that. There's only one death blow check.
Give them no quarter.
And Bowen showing us what he can do. And I'm actually just going to go with Inspiring Tune. Try and reduce the massive stress that Koliar is under. And Battlefield Bandage, that'll get him off of death's door.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
And that'll get him back onto death's door. Isn't it funny how things work out like that? Well, please don't heal for 0. Okay, that is definitely not 0. And he's not even bleeding. Alright, that just leaves the grabber. And I think he's bleeding for 3, so that's the end of the grabber. Well, whatever, may as well try and kill him with vulnerability hex. You use Solemnity, you can use the stress relief. And in the meantime, we may as well just use healing abilities until this thing's turn eventually comes around.
Unforeseen, unforgiving.
Okay, I'm gonna ditch the holy water for the busts. I'm coming back for this chest, though. We may have to come back all the way through to get to that
Nature
room that I
herself,
skipped.
a victim to the spreading corruption. Malformed with misintent.
Alright. Yep, Demon's Pull missed. Let's use Harvest. Just to get started on this one. And Hew. Ho ho ho!
Impunity.
That's the end of 2 of them. And, you know what? Rallying Flare can reduce stress. Let's just do that. And he even resisted Blight. Perfect.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Okay, we don't need this extra stack of food. So I'm just going to feed it to people to heal them until everybody's healed or full. And drop the extra 2 food, and I'll keep the deeds for now. And would have been nice to... Oh, what? Did he just steal it? Why didn't I get any options for whether or not to take that? Patri, if you stole the loot, I may have to have you killed. which is what I assume happens to everybody we dismiss, is that we actually just take them out back and shoot them. I mean, they go to live on a farm. Okay, and the Arablest is bleeding, possibly in punishment for that joke. Alright, vulnerability hex, because I can hit the bloodletter with sniper shot. Alright. Ow! Ow, that's bad. Yeah. Alright. And chop. And Bowen is showing everybody how it's done. And he's apparently inspired them to dodge blanket fire. Well, let's see how the Fusilier handles Slice Off. And Weird Reconstruction, doing alright. Weird Reconstruction, it's the healing equivalent of a lottery ticket. It might work, but then again, it might not. And chop. And Dirk Stab. And there we go. The Jester is laughing maniacally.
This expedition at least promises success.
I'll drop the one bandage for some portraits. And that's the end of the mission. Which means we can afford to drop any of the supply items, pretty much. I only need one key, so let's see. Torch. Medicinal herbs. Anti-venom. Okay, we've officially tried everything. And opening the coffin gets us nothing of value. But let's move back this way and open up that chest. Also, it looks like I made the right call with regards to not going down this hallway. And open up a chest with a key. And lots of heirlooms. Well, let's drop the torches for the last bust. And quest complete! This is a rather mundane opening to this episode, but
from our woods.
Loot is loot. Made a decent amount of gold off of that, too. Especially with the 4,500 bonus. And Fontamai still hasn't reached resolve level 5 yet, but she has blight resistance. Every single hero is diseased.
Finally, the serum is working, and the side effects are manageable.
Manageable. Well, the medical ward is free, and that's good because we're gonna need it. Let's treat the tetanus, and let's put Fontamai in to get her scurvy treated. Alright. And actually, Koliar should probably get his stress treated. It's a little high. Anybody else? Let's get Bowen in the transept. Alright. Now, let's upgrade some heroes. So let's see, Clarinel. What's Bertrand got? Let's upgrade Bertrand's blade, actually. The Bubonic Herald. Where's Sordival? Yeah, his armor hasn't been maxed out. Let's max out his armor. And that's all of the upgrading I'm gonna do. And let's see what we can do with the sanitarium. We need a fair amount, and it would be the medical ward. Actually no, I already put the other guys in stress treatments. There's not much benefit to upgrading it this late. But let's upgrade medical. Let's trade some stuff around to upgrade medical devices. Alright. And then I think I'll hold off on upgrading anything else for now. So, before we proceed, in the hopes of warding off possible recording issues, I'm going to get us up a fresh recording file. I will be back in a moment.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
You know, I feel like I know enough. I could stand to not really learn anymore. Okay, and we have unlocked the Hag Witch. This is the ultimate version of the Hag. What would I get for I would get another Sacred Scroll, 30 crests, and 15,000 gold for killing the Necromancer Lord. Well, there's something I want to try. So let's put together my team. Clarinel, Sordival, Bertrand, and let's see, Lulier, Cardinal, Traley is the one I want, and Traley. Yes, the team for this mission is 3 people who have come back from the dead and a Vestal. That's the team. One of the other Vestals must already have the, yeah, Damour has them. The Sacred Scroll and the Tome of Holy Healing, which are being given to Traley, because they just belong to whichever Vestal is our Vestal for now. Let's see, Bertrand has increased Blight skill chance, increased Virtue chance, and reduced stress. We don't have any Plague Doctor specific equipment, apparently. Honestly, I like that combination. However, for Clarinel, I want to change something. I like the plus 20% damage versus Blighted, but I want the Raider's Talisman for increased critical chance. The reduced max HP isn't great since she's in position 2. And for Sordival, yeah, you know, I think unyielding may have had an unstated effect. I knew he was unyielding, I didn't realize he was that unyielding. For Sordival, let's see, I think one of the other men-at-arms already has... Yeah, Tardif has the Recovery Charm and the Rampart Shield, which is what I want Sordival to equip. So, here we go. Yep. I am planning to take on the Necromancer Lord with a team of people who have come back from the dead. Let me see, does Traley have... Yes, Traley has Sanctuary. Alright. Provision. It's medium length, we want a medium number of torches. Just one or... yeah, 2 shovels is plenty. A medium amount of food. To save money, I have never had a curio that uses medicinal herbs in the ruins, so I'm not bothering with them. And then I accidentally click on them when I mean to click on bandages. Bring some bandages, some antivenom. I think we're ready. Let us embark.
I brought my colleagues back with much of their intellect intact. A remarkable triumph for even the most experienced necromancer. Freed from the trappings of their humanity, they plied their terrible trade anew. The dead reviving the dead, on and on down the years. Forever.
I'm still waiting for the explanation of why you thought this was a good idea, Ancestor.
A devil walks these halls. Only the mad or the desperate go in search of him.
So which one are we? And yeah, I'm pretty confident he's gonna be here. This is gonna be a bit of a hike. Bertrand, it looks like you've just stolen money from us, and I told you what happens to employees who steal, didn't I? Don't make me do this, Bertrand. Okay, you see? Clarinel is at least letting us keep the loot. She's a good employee. And here she is successfully disarming traps. Clarinel may end up being the adventurer of the month this month. Alright. And more successful scouting thanks to that trick. And another trap. We have a fair amount of resistance, but no enemies so far. I really do honestly need to get the quirks treated that are resulting in people stealing from us, because that's a real problem.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
Now let's use the holy water. Ooh, quite a bit of loot. Gambler's Charm, that's interesting. Increased max health, reduced death blow resistance. But we have room for everything. And our first fight. Well, poison darts on the infamous Cutthroat. Ow. And Noxious Blast on the infamous Cutthroat. Become as dust. Yeah, he's already blighted for 11. That hit hard. Well, Divine Grace healed even harder. I like controlling champions. And now, to deal with stealth, use Retribution. And now we can counter the Brigand Hunter. May as well use Poison Darts again. Hopefully his stealth ends soon, because one thing I didn't bring was abilities that remove stealth.
Death waits.
Rushed or not, that did some damage. Well, now that he's no longer free, I'm still going to use Defender, but now that he's no longer in stealth, he's in a bit of trouble. And I feel like going for the slow death, which is both unforeseen and unforgiving. Noxious Blast. Once again, the enemy is blighted for 11. And everybody missed that one. And because he doesn't even get to attack next turn, I'm just going to quick heal everyone. Also, Divine Comfort heals for 8.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
That makes me very happy. Divine Comfort healed for 8. Okay. Honestly, I'm not dropping anything for 2 portraits. Let's use the holy water. The water purifies the altar. Dark Temptation quirk removed. Yeah, this is just one linear path, and I'm guessing the boss is at the end of it. Well, we're going to use the usual strategy of resting right before we reach the boss room, and ooh, maggots! Which, it says bulbous, but for a second I saw that as bonus maggot. It's like, so we have extra special bonus maggots now? I was hoping that would one-shot it, but apparently not. Well, Crush probably won't either. However, let's see if Judgment can finish the job. It would have if it had hit. How about Plague Grenade?
Press this advantage.
That's 1.
Give them no quarter.
Unsurprisingly. Wait, they don't actually resist Blight that much, and they don't resist Blight any more than they resist Bleed. Unfortunately, Clarinel is about to be very gravely nibbled. Yeah, I imagine Clarinel does not like being nibbled at by maggots. It probably brings back traumatic memories of that time when she was dead. Right, Noxious Blast on this one. And it's blighted for 7. Right, Crush on that bonus maggot.
Destroy them all.
And Divine Grace. Let's see if we can refill Clarinel's hit points. Okay, that maggot's out. Ow. So I'm mainly worried about the stress and the stun. Okay, so if we can take this one out this turn, then the fight's basically over. Well, pick to the face. Oh, that's a good start. Unfortunately, it got to act before the rest of us did. And kill it with... We killed it with the direct damage from Noxious Blast. That doesn't happen so often. And more loot. I'll light up one of our remaining torches.
Is struck. A blazing star is born.
And a perfect opportunity to de-stress the grave robber. At least a little bit. Don't have too much in the way of stress management. We got some. And a bone sergeant. And yay, skeletons. Let's see, skeletons and occultist. Let's see, how do I want to prioritize for this one? I'm gonna try poisoning the shield wall with the, and then for these guys, let's just stack up Plague. Alright. Oh yay, Eldritch Pull. That could mess everything up. It did mess everything up. Alright. For now, I'm just gonna have her heal everyone.
Wounds of war can be healed, but never hidden.
And Axe Blade. Is that gonna move her back? Well, it doesn't matter because it didn't hit. But now I can just use Defender on her to prevent her from taking damage. And in the meantime, I'm just gonna keep stacking Blight on the rest of these. That's bad. That's actually quite bad. That Defender really backfired on me. Okay, that's the end of the, well, let's use Rampart. That's the end of the Cultist. The Spearman still has some fight in him yet. It's also the end of the Shield Wall. I love blighting enemies way more than I probably should. In fact, the Sergeant who's in Stealth is the only one who isn't going to die on his next turn. And he's not in Stealth anymore.
The ground quakes.
This fight is pretty much over. We just kind of won. Oh, Noxious Blast. He has 13 hit points, and on his next move, he loses 11 of them. And that's that.
Slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
And I just get to stand here and watch 3/4 of the enemy's team keel over from Blight.
A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Right. I'm gonna be very cautious about dropping anything in favor of loot. In fact, honestly, depending on the condition, we're already getting 15,000 gold just for finishing the mission. I'm not even going to open this chest right now because it would probably mean giving up loot or dropping supply items. We can come back for the chests after we've killed the boss and everything else between us and the boss. And I believe there's another, yep, another room battle. Ah, these guys again. And unfortunately, because of where the hunter is, I can't hit him with Plague Grenade. I can hit him with Flashing Daggers, though. Let's see if we can stun one of the cutthroats. And with Noxious Blast. Which means he's done. Wait, no, he's not. He has one. He's blighted for 7, which means that by the next time he gets to act, he will have taken 14 blight damage. And let's see if we can stun the other cutthroat. All right. Unfortunately, there's not a lot we can do about blanket fire. slashing daggers will at least wear this guy's health down. But the only thing we can really do about blanket fire is dodge, is just know when to duck and use divine comfort. Okay. Oh, that isn't good. I know I'm feeling unnerved and unbalanced. Okay, and that's 7 hit. Yep, that's it. That's the end of him.
This is how a life is taken.
Okay, keep Clarinel from dying again. Ooh, critical poison darts. Oh, did that sting? Unfortunately, he resisted the blight, so we get to use blanket fire one last time. One final middle finger before we put him down. I'm actually going to use battlefield medicine instead of attacking. And let's go with retribution on the guy who would have died of blight. Because this lets me use divine comfort and heal everyone for 8 except for Bertrand, who gets 14. Let's see if we blight him this time. Nope, he's still he will not let himself be poisoned. So he dies to retribution instead. If I can't get you one way, I'm getting you the other way.
Mount, so too will resistance.
Glad I didn't drop the shovels. This is a very... Speaking of resistance, this is a very high resistance map. We've had traps, we've had hallway battles, we've had room battles, and the Bone Bearer. We've finally encountered the champion enemy for... These guys have plus 25% damage. I'm guessing the Bone Bearer is the reason why they have that.
A singular strike.
Well, we get to open up with a critical and some blight, and a plague grenade for even more blight. Okay.
Impressive.
He resisted stun. Well, Rampart has both stun and move. Let's see if we can do that. He resisted neither this time. Plus 25% damage isn't gonna do much for Bone Militia. Wicked Surge increases his damage further along with his accuracy. Okay, that didn't do much for the Bone Militia, but if he uses that on the cultist, we're in some real trouble. So let's just focus on getting rid of him as quickly as possible. Ah, he dodged Plague Grenade. But that's it! Other than the fact that he did get to use Wicked Surge on the cultist before the cultist's turn. Well, let's reduce the cultist to using Stumbling Scratch. And I even got to stun him a second time. Well, now let's stun the Militia, who doesn't have elevated stun resistance. And we basically got him. The Bone Bearer dies on his next turn. The Cultist Champion is rapidly running out of hit points and can only use Stumbling Scratch because of how far back he is. So that's not as much of a problem as it could be. Let's just kill the Cultist with Noxious Blast, and that's the end of him. Alright, let's quick reconstruct our Man-at-Arms, and we've gone from what could have been a serious problem to fighting one Bone Militia essentially by himself. This mission is going too well. Something terrible is about to happen. I just know it. Also, Clarinel has managed to make a skeleton bleed. On her best coat, no less.
This expedition at least promises success.
Alright, and I'm just going to drop the extra loot. Like I said, I'm not dropping supply items for loot right now, because we're going to need every resource we can get to reach the boss.
A fortune waiting to be spent.
Fortune waiting to be left behind. And another chest, and another room battle. Oh, yay! Spears and, I can't remember the name of the Tempting Goblet, that's what it is. I should recognize that. It's appeared in my nightmares so many times. And Sword of Alls too, apparently, if his stress level is any indication. Alright, the Spearman's out for this turn. And Graveyard Slash did a lot. Please don't target Clarinel. Thank you for not targeting Clarinel. I am indebted to you for not killing the Grave Robber again. Alright. And just to be safe, I'm using Defender. And just keep using poison darts. We're gonna have another one of those where after a few rounds, the entire enemy team just spontaneously keel over and die. Unfortunately, we are a little short on stress management, and the stress levels are mounting. Okay, he has 10 and is blighted for 12. He has 22 and is blighted for 12. So one poison dart on the Spearman should make the difference. He has 10 and is blighted for 8. I'm actually going to use Crush on the Bone Lancer. Okay, and he's into the kill range. That just leaves the Sergeant, who is a bit of a threat, but not much of one. And choose Poison Darts to make sure the shield wall dies. Use Crush on the Sergeant. Actually, maybe I should have used Rampart. Definitely I should have used Rampart. Just gonna focus on healing the Man-at-Arms a little bit, especially since if we get some critical healing, he might get a stress reduction, and that's the best option we've got to try to reduce his stress level. And pick to the face. And Battlefield Medicine again. Let's get him nice and repaired. And Crush! And just missed it by this much. And let's fix Clarinel. And finish the job.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
I'm gonna drop the Onyx for the Ruby, since it's an increase in value. Honestly, I probably shouldn't be holding on to the Holy Water, but I am. And more bandits. They are just pulling out all the stops. They're throwing Whoa! They're just pulling out everything they've got on us. Okay, the stress effect from that is starting to be a problem. But I can cancel out the damage with Divine Comfort. Alright, a Noxious Blast will put that Cutthroat very close to death. The other one's a little farther away from it, though. And Slice and Dice always does quite a bit of damage. I'm actually going to uncork Retribution, though, to punish the stealth guy. And Flashing Daggers again. And he dodged it this time. Still another critical. Alright, Blanket Fire still hit, but at least we managed to punish it this time.
A momentary abatement.
Alright. Bertrand, start working on the infamous Cutthroat. And that Brigand, that Brigand Hunter has caused you quite a bit of stress. Why don't you work out your frustrations with your mace? There you go. Just embrace the healing process. Uppercut Slice, and he threw us back into formation. Alright, and that's the end of the Cutthroat. There we go. Okay, that's it.
Can be felled. They can be beaten.
I'm dropping the Holy Water for gold. We're unlikely to run into a situation where we need Holy Water. And the shovel is cleared up, giving us another inventory space. Light us up another torch. And finally, good news, an empty room. And even more scouting, and bad news in the form of a third obstacle. This They're just throwing everything at us today. Just every kind of obstacle they can find to keep us
trinkets and baubles
from
paid for in blood.
Alright, flashing daggers. And it missed both of them. Okay. At least it's not targeting Sortival. More than likely, he's going to end up afflicted before the end of this mission. In fact, well, I prefer to wait until we're... Okay. I spoke too soon. I was thinking we'd stunned it, but we hadn't. Well, I would prefer to wait until right before the boss fight. I'm honestly probably going to make camp in the next room to de-stress Sortival. Oh, critical pick to the face. Actually, gonna use Rampart. I really don't want this thing to get a turn. It didn't work. Alright, Battlefield Medicine yourself. Ooh, a critical! 4 healing! Traley, show Bertrand how a real medic operates. And almost everyone is at full health. Alright, pick to the face won't kill it. Let's hope... yeah, bite at least missed. And, you know, I'm gonna exploit this to get the Vestal up to full health too, so now everyone is at full health. And there we go. Okay, 250 gold we can't carry.
Push on to the task's end.
Unfortunately, we have to clear it by hand, which is going to consume time and inflict stress. And let's hope this room battle isn't too... Okay, a bone general and 2 sharpshooters. This is going to be a bit of a thing. Okay, Clarinel, just focus on blighting the general. He has relatively low blight, very low blight resistance.
Ringing ears.
Oy.
Blurred vision. The end.
Light up a torch. Divine Grace. Let's just fix the damage that critical hit has caused. And I'm just gonna have Bertrand handle the Arablest essentially by himself with Plague Grenade. Let's hope that Quarrel doesn't cause too much damage in the interim. It's gonna cause too much damage in the interim, isn't it? Whoa. That's bad. Okay, let's go with Defender. This is really why Sortival is here. And Thrown Dagger. Pardon my reach. And Quarrel on Bertrand this time. Do you have a quarrel with my Plague Doctor? Perhaps it's because he blighted you. Alright. Let's get the... Though, it is a testament to Traley's skills and determination that no one has been on death's door yet this mission. And I'm guessing Sortival just dove for Clarinel and like pushed her to the ground so the arrow missed both of them. But it is a testament to the skills and determination of our Vestal that with all the damage that's been coming our way, no one has even hit death's door yet. No one even has a mortality beat. And it's a testament to the sacred scroll of the Tome of Holy Healing, and that's the end of the sharpshooters. This guy's stun resistance is only 90. We can stun it. Alright. Let's see how much. And that's it. We're done. Use Battlefield Medicine to repair some of the damage. Use Defender to avoid inflicting damage to try and get the Vestal to get a turn. And use Divine Comfort. I am going to exploit this extra turn to the fullest.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
We haven't had much use for anti-venom. And I'm actually keeping the shovel. This is not a joke. I know that if I take the shovel, there will be no more obstacles, but if I skip the shovel, there will be more obstacles. Alright. And more successful scouting. We can at least make it to this room, I think. Actually, no, that's a mistake. The lack of fights means that there's no real difference between camping now and camping later, except that people take random stress every time, or at least have a chance of taking random stress every time we take a step. And sort of all stress is 96. We're making camp.
A moment of respite.
And we're feasting.
Steel oneself against the coming horrors.
Alright, before I forget, Sanctuary, no mortality debuffs, but at least prevents nighttime ambush. Unless someone else has an ability that prevents nighttime ambush. Nope, no one does. So, Sanctuary, to prevent nighttime ambush. Chant, I'm not sure if the Man-at-Arms is religious, but everyone's stress is kind of high, so... Oh, it only works in a single person. And then... I'm gonna risk Gallows Humor. Alright. His stress level is at least down to an acceptable level. It would have been nice to use some of the camping buff abilities, but...
The promise of safety.
Well, it would have been nice to use some of the camping buff abilities to go into a boss fight. We really need to prevent anyone from being blighted? Afflicted going into a boss. So... And we appear to have powered through most of the resistance because these last few hallways are just nothing. It's like they concentrated everything that they had to try to stop us. Hallway battles, traps. They even collapsed some of the tunnels right at the beginning. And then by the end, it's like they ran out of steam. It's like, nobody could possibly make it this far. Don't even bother. So, well, and the pack has already been looted. Alright. Torch level's getting a little low. This means that we're going to be dealing with a lot of darkness on our backtracking. I'd still rather deal with darkness during backtracking than darkness during a boss fight. And maggots. And we surprised them. Alright, flashing daggers. 6 and 5. Dazzling light to try and raise the torch level a little bit. Stunning one would be nice. Plague grenade should finish that one off. Crush should finish this one off. Well, it missed, so it didn't finish that one off. Okay, so we managed to get rid of one. Alright, at least Sword of All isn't stunned. At least Bertrand is also not stunned. Alright. Let's use Battlefield Medicine on Sword of All because I want to use Dazzling Light to increase the light level. Alright. There's one maggot down. One last Grave Nibble. Alright, Dazzling Light. It resisted stun, but the light level's up. Let's see about Rampart. And it missed. It resisted being hit. Alright, pick to the face. And now pick to the face has performance anxiety and only does 8 damage. And Bertrand had to finish the job with Noxious Blast.
Pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
I'm gonna skip the decorative urn for now. Whoa! And a trap we didn't scout. And I'm lighting up our last torch going into the boss. Fingers crossed we don't run into a shambler while we're backtracking. And here we go.
Terrible. Nightmare-made material.
Let's start with Blight. Because his Blight resistance isn't very good. Using the Clawing Dead to summon a minion. Alright, let's go with Divine Comfort. And Rampart, let's go with Retribution. Critical, 4 damage! Even though his protection value is 0. And I'm gonna keep stacking up. I keep having Bertrand apply Blight damage where possible anyway. But now I'm exploiting the extra damage versus Blighted from Thrown Dagger, combined with increased critical chance from the Raider's Talisman and the extra damage versus Blighted from the Sickening Satchel. Not as good as Mark exploitation, but it's something. And I just really wanted to use this team. Ooh, 6 feet under. You're all but dust. And in the meantime, Bertrand is just going to keep inflicting blights to both cause damage over time, and more importantly, to keep this thing blighted so that when Thrown Dagger hits it, it deals extra damage. This thing is really giving 115% to the stun resistance department. Ooh, critical. Yeah, this isn't the best strategy I could be using, but I mean, I'm mostly using it because I want to, it looks like Sword of All is going to be, looks like Sword of All is going to end up being afflicted no matter what. I wanted to use this team to have the, to take on the Necromancer Lord because 3 of the 4 of them have come back from the dead. You've heard of the blind leading the blind? Now we have the dead killing the dead. Alright, Dazzling Light to keep the torch level up. And stunning the Necromancer is always good, especially when he's taking damage over time. And all he's summoned are Bone Sergeants, whose damage is really staggeringly mediocre. This is... I hate to say this because I might jinx it, but this is almost too easy. This is not... I mean, 3 of these people aren't even Resolve level 6. They do have fully upgraded equipment, but otherwise... I shouldn't feel this over-prepared for a champion-level boss. Something is about to go horribly wrong, I'm sure. I'm about to discover that he has some secret move that he uses right at the end. Or when Sword of All becomes afflicted, it's going to, And Sword of All's resolve is tested. Courageous!
The moment of valor shines brightest against the backdrop of despair.
And he isn't afflicted. He's virtuous. It's been a while since a hero came out virtuous. But behind me none shall pass. And just keep stacking up Plague Grenade. I was expecting him to summon something more dangerous than a Bone Sergeant. But yeah, last time we punished him for running away by using Demon's Pull to drag him forward so that Assange could hit him. This time we use attacks that don't really care what position we're in. He's also yeah, the Necromancer Lord is on the way out.
Cannot be left unanswered.
The Necromancer Lord is on the way out. He has 45 hit points and he's blighted for 18. Correction, he has 31 hit points and he's blighted for 18. This is his last turn. He's done. Fiends from the pit, you shall not have. I'm just gonna heal everybody. The Necromancer Lord is just about to keel over from being poisoned. It seems there are miracles, but I am no saint. Let's use Defender on the seriously injured Plague Doctor. That was a good choice. Divine Comfort. No critical healing, but this did the job. Graveyard Slash. And this guy's 1 turn of stun. Let's see if we can finish this thing off with Thrown Dagger. Ho 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 ho!
To actuate them. Will these walking bones finally fail?
And with a critical too. Gunslinger's Buckle.
Brought low and driven into the mud.
And Youth Chalice. Well, we have some chests to loot yet. That was... I was not expecting that to go that well. Especially since, well, I do, like I said, I do have some confidence in this team composition. But this is not the strongest team composition I've ever put together. Ideally, I would have brought someone who can mark targets to use Thrown Dagger's extra damage against marked in addition to its extra damage against blighted. I did not expect this fight to go this smoothly. And hunger. And, of course, we are out of torches and almost out of food, so there's the very real possibility that we start dying as we walk back from the chests we left behind. It's also possible that a hallway battle could respawn, the torch level could reach 0, and we could end up with a Shambler. So there are still ways that this can go wrong. It's just that with the boss dead, it's a little less likely. Though, I don't know, maybe the ease of the boss fight was the game luring me into a false sense of security before murdering me. Also, yes, I think that this game may have made me a little paranoid. Just a little bit. I mean, but it's not really paranoia, because I know the game is out to get me. Like, who placed that trap? It wasn't there when we went through this hallway the first time, and now suddenly there's a trap. Someone is... Oh... And Clarinel is claustrophobic now. And hunger again. I swear we get hunger more... We had hunger 0 times crossing this entire distance. And now that we're backtracking, we have hunger twice. Ooh. Let's drop the shovels. Let's also drop the bandages. There's no need for any kind of supply items anymore except for keys. We'll be done with those soon. In other words, our packs are laden with loot and low on supplies. Alright, our second key. And what do we get this time?
If only
Gold and
treasure
food.
could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Let's see, I'll drop the stun charm for the 1250 gold. Not bothering to pick up the food. It isn't enough to deal with hunger, and we're, honestly, we can survive one failed hunger check if it comes down to it. Almost out of light, though. And our last key for our last chest.
A handsome reward for a task well performed.
And it even gave us a torch. And that is the end of the Necromancer Lord. I was expecting the fight to go worse than that. Then we get a Sacred Scroll, which means we have insurance in case one of them dies with a Vestal. 12,500 gold just from what we picked up, and a further 15,000 from the quest reward, along with 30 crests. And the Necromancer's Collar, increased damage and critical versus Unholy. Adenel is probably going to be the one who gets to use this. Though, I'm not sure how much more Unholy we're going to end up fighting. And we have another team who are all Resolve level 6 now. I want to call them Resolve level 12. Sortival is now deadly. And Clarinel is now resilient, with increased stress heal. Ooh, Beast Slayer. That's a pretty significant improvement over Slugger for a Plague Doctor. Oh, while camping. Never mind. I was going to say, Healer's Gift for a second looked amazing on a Vestal. And I mean, it's not bad. Increased healing while camping is still pretty good, but it's not as good as just increased healing, period.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
For a second, I thought the game crashed. That had me a little nervous after how successful we've been. Let's put Traley in some stress treatment. Let's see. You know, we made a huge amount of money off of this mission, and you all have worked very hard. I'm going to place everyone in stress treatment. It's not going to cost us that much gold. Consider it a celebration of all you guys have done. And let's upgrade some town structures again. Let's see. Upgrading the number of medical ward slots would be good. Alternatively, could upgrade the survivalist. Let's upgrade the survivalist. Let's trade away some of our excess of deeds. Okay, 50 plus 20 is 70, so yeah, 21 will do it. But 18 wouldn't. 18 would leave us with 71. So, let's upgrade the survivalist
Success
bonfire.
depends on survival.
And Let's see what the Nomad Wagon has for, let's see. Nothing terribly impressive. I haven't gotten a lot of use out of the Nomad Wagon, honestly. It's one of the reasons why I haven't really been upgrading it. I've upgraded it a little bit, but I haven't generally gotten my good, what do they call, my good trinkets from that. Let's just treat some diseases. The worries, which he got. Bowen, I know, contracted that from the howl of, the, what's it called? The, ghoul. I guess the stress from that attack can actually follow you in the form of a disease. Let's see, who to upgrade now? Or should I be upgrading skills instead? Let me see, I want to see what Fontamai's condition is. She's maxed out. A lot of the other people I would upgrade are being de-stressed. However, I'm going to explore Vastal's Weapon Tinker to give her the Wolf's Tooth. Increased damage and critical rate. Alright. Since Weapon Tinker could potentially be switched out randomly after any mission, I may as well exploit it while she has it. And let's upgrade a few other abilities. Let's see, Wicked Hack is always good, as is If It Bleeds. Passant, what does he have that isn't maxed out? Let's see, the really important one is maxed out, which is Collect Bounty. Upgrading Come Hither would mainly just increase its pull chance, which is already very high. Finish Him is alright, and I mean the increased damage versus stun would be nice, but since stun always only lasts one turn, it's kind of hard to take advantage of. See, Adenel is pretty much good. Tardif is also pretty much good. Let's look at our less experienced people. Oh, Lovett really needs some love. Let's see, Pistol Shot, Open Vein, Grape Shot Blast. Tracking Shot, and then let's upgrade Pistol Shot, Grape Shot Blast, and Open Vein again. Let's look at one of our many Vestals. Cardinal's pretty much good. Luliere really needs some work, though. Yeah, I keep numerous Vestals around as insurance. And I'm probably, considering the fact that we've managed to burn through almost 30,000 gold this quickly, I'm probably going to go on an Antiquarian mission pretty soon. So let's upgrade some of the Antiquarian's abilities a bit. And one more level. That leaves us with 8,800 to fund the next mission. But we've finally taken down our first champion level boss, and it went honestly terrifyingly well. The tables are gonna turn on me at some point. Something is gonna happen, and everything is gonna start to go wrong. I just know it. Either way, with our first champion level boss having been taken down, this is going to be the end for this part. Thank you all for watching, I love you all, and I will see you next time. I've never seen leeches that large. Well, that's a hell of a note to end on. See y'all next week.